Hello everyone, Miss Art Garden here, and today we're going to do a digital painting of a jack-o'-lantern. So first I'm going to set my background layer to a very dark color. I have my setups about 20 by 11 inches at 300 dpi, just in case you guys want to know that fact. So I'm going to pick this pretty dark color, almost black, and I'm going to then sketch. Got my settings a little bit messed up. Okay, so I'm setting to normal, opacity at 48. That's fine. And I'm just gonna sketch in a little pumpkin now. So bigger than that, let's just draw in kind of two C shapes to start with, and then you know, just add some more details. So sketch in the top area here. I'm gonna erase some of this here and just kind of erase as I go. I'm going to actually move it down a bit, and I'm going to add the little top vine broken stump thing handle. I don't know what you call that part. You know what I mean. So just sketch this all in real quick. Doesn't have to be too fancy. Just like that. And then I'm going to sketch in a face. So let's just have some angry eyes, like, you know, triangle eyes here and here. And we'll have like a little upside down triangle nose. And then we'll just have some some mouth, if I can get that. There we go. And we'll just let's see, let's shape it in like that, just do whatever you feel like. So I'm just gonna have some real pointy teeth, just like so. I'm gonna sketch it in like that. Okay. And then do the same on the bottom. And just keep working on them. Get those evil, happy grin. Oh, I don't like that. I like it when they kind of look like they can interlock if its mouth shuts. But that's just kind of like a personal thing. I don't think it matters too much. So, just like that. Okay? So now we got a pumpkin. It's got a really wide mouth. You can go with that. I'm actually gonna... I think the mouth needs to be wider. So I'm going to warp, just kind of mess around with it till I get a nice wide evil grin. Just like that. That looks great. Okay. So I know I kind of drew my pumpkin flat, but that's okay. We'll go with it. Now I'm going to, underneath this layer, I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to call it color, or whatever you want to call it. And we're going to pick a pumpkin-y, dark pumpkin-y color. So I got to turn my opacity all the way to 100. I'm gonna change my hardness so it's not, that looks good. It's kind of, I think it's a little too red, so we'll move it up to the orange area here, and you even see, oh, there it goes. I think my computer might be lagging. I hope my fan doesn't kick on too loud here in a minute. So I'm just gonna color that in now. There we go. Happy little Halloween dark orange. I don't think it's very happy. Scary, spooky. Okay, so just get that nice and colored in. You can hide your sketch layer if you want to kind of readjust any parts of it. I might have had this a little too soft, but that doesn't matter. There we go. The sides of this are eventually going to be kind of blended into the background, I think. So did I have this? Yeah, let's have this little sketch up here and add a little snub. We'll make it kind of a real dark yellow green color, just like that. I think that's a little too light, actually. Make it even darker. I hope you guys can see this video. So there we go. Nice sketch. You can kind of refine the edges a bit, just like so. Okay? So before, I'm actually going to pick this color up. I see a little bit of area down here. I'm going to take my sketch. Let's just bump the opacity down so we can see a little bit better. Oops, don't draw on the sketch layer. Oh, I just realized I colored right on my background. What happened to my layer? Hopefully you guys didn't do the same. It's okay. Give me a second and I'm just going to fix that problem. So I'll see you in a minute. There we go. Now I have it on a separate layer, which is what I want. So you can see there. And now I'm going to take it and refine the edges. So in case you were wondering how I magicked that, I just selected it with the lasso tool and pasted it. And just cleaned it up a bit. So I didn't do anything like super technical there. Okay, so now we're going to take our brush. I'm going to change the opacity down to like 20 5, it's 27 actually. And then I'm going to take a little bit lighter color, make my brush real small, and I'm just going to lightly sketch in. That's a little bit brighter than I wanted, but it doesn't matter. Lightly sketch in the face. So there we go. And the nose. This is just so I can eventually get rid of this sketch layer. I'm just gonna, I think this is just two. We'll just keep going with it. There we go. Just trace these lines that you've already made. Okay, now we can hide our sketch layer and just kind of reshape that. It's looking kind of funny, but we're just kind of sketching it in there. This eye is too small compared to that one, so I'll just kind of fix that up there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to duplicate this layer. Duplicate layer, there we go. Create a clipping mask, and some people lock the layer, but I don't. I just prefer to do it this way. Okay, we're going to take black, maybe not quite 23. Let's do 14. And then we're just going to go over the areas where it'll be the most shadowy, I guess. And I'm not going to be super clean because there'll be like, you know, textures, parts that'll glow more than others. And as far as the outer layers, they mostly just get kind of lost in to that area. So now I'm going to take this color that I had here, the little bit lighter color, and I'm going to go around the top area where it got cut open, you know, and make like a little circular area up here. Like a little circular area, like where it's been cut into. And I'm going to work on painting, you know, this little bit darker areas here. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring it back down to like 13. Get that dark black as day, black as night color, and just kind of keep making some things here. I want this area here, actually let's do it under here super quick. Just add a little shadow here, and then just, you know how pumpkins have like ridges, so we're gonna just kind of add those ridges in with the shadow parts here and here. Just a little texture. And I'm gonna come down here. This is still on a clipping mask, and what the clipping mask does, if I didn't explain it, I'll do it with the light, is it only draws on the information below the layer, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna come up here, put some darkness under here, draw these little ridges here to kind of match up. We'll say matches up pretty good. Okay. I'm even going to do it here. Just add this black in here. Leave just enough for there to be kind of hints of green for now. We're going to go in and we're going to pop those highlights out a little bit later. But for now, we'll just have this. So, and I'm going to make some exaggerations here and under the mouth. Just make some few shades. Because it's so dark, it might be kind of hard to see. Or maybe you've turned your brightness up and you can see that it's actually really messy looking. But it's just, you know, in the end, we'll have it so that just so much light is popping out of the darkness. It's okay if it's kind of messy looking. You know, it adds to a Halloween-y look too. So now I'm going to take a slightly textured brush. And I have one from the old default settings. I don't know if these are in the new Photoshop. I transferred my brushes over. This one was in the old one, and you know, it's optional. And I'm just going to mark some areas with it, and it'll just kind of, it's probably really hard for you guys to see, but it's just going to kind of bring in some more texture. Okay, and then I'm going to take this color and bump it up a bit, and I still got it way down at 13, and I'm going to add in even more like little textured stuff around these ridges and under the eyes there. And it's just kind of an optional thing. I think it'll look a little bit nicer. Okay. Now we'll go back to the regular brush. Okay, and I'm going to just keep working now on bringing out the light. So the first thing I'm going to just make these center parts really, really bright. And then I'm actually going to sketch in, you know, how you can kind of see into the pumpkin a little bit. But we'll start with the really bright parts of the light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and go to the color dodge option. And I'm going to cut this way down to like 6%. And I'm going to pick a nice orange color, yellow orange, that'll glow really well. And I'll show you, you know, if this was at higher, that's what color it gets to. So, you know, it brightens it, so to say. So I'm going to cut that back down at 6. Well, now it's at 5. Okay, so I'm going to carefully go in. I'm going to turn my hardness down. And I'm just going to start like brightening this very slowly. This might be a little too low. Let's turn it up to 615. And we're just going to go through this a couple times and really brighten this area up. Let's pick a yellow color. I think this is going a little bit slower than I want. There we go. We're starting to get some colors in there now. Okay. We'll do a final glow. We'll select a glow and go over that at the end. But for right now, we just want to push these colors out. And I want it to look kind of interesting, like textured. So I'm doing it this way. So we're just going to kind of keep, I'm picking up my stylus and just kind of keep pushing this cool little glow out. And I know these little highlight lines are really getting bright. We're going to go over and touch those up later. So for right now, we'll just kind of push this brightness, and that's going to be right where the glow comes out. There we go. That looks kind of cool, don't you think? We'll do the same thing here. I'm going to make my brush a little smaller, and I'm going to push the brightness, concentrating at like the centers of, or I mean the corners of the eyes, the inner corners, but just kind of keep adding that textured glow. I think will look pretty cool. I know we have this shadow here. I should have probably touched that up, but oh well. We can go through and clean all this up with the blending technique later. And then the nose, we'll just have kind of the center be the highlightedest part. Okay, so what do you think? Does this kind of look like fire a little bit with the way you've done this textured? I think so, like a little moving texture. And then I'm going to cut it really small and just add some like glow marks right where I you know, highlighted this area. Like it's just barely escaping through the crack there. Just like that. I don't know why my computer fan is making noise. I hope it's not being like really annoying. Okay, and then I'm going to concentrate on some. I'm going to go way down. Brush size and then concentrate on some areas more than others. So it looks like it's just barely leaking out. Okay. What do you think? Does that look kind of cool? I know this all is still a mess. We've got to refine it. But I guess I'm kind of a make a mess type of artist and then clean it up. But I know some people just like beautiful. Anyways, I'm going to go normal and I'm going to, I guess not, we'll do like 29%. That's good. And I'm just going to kind of clean this up now and just, you know, work on making, like, maybe pick up some colors here and then kind of blend in, like, you know, like some lighter colors and then shadows. Maybe this 28 is a little too high. And I got my hardness down. That's good. You know, just kind of pick up some lighter colors, smear them in, give it texture. Just keep it really interesting. You can turn your, you know, hit D on the keyboard and make it black and go in with some darker blacks and stuff and get it going. I'm actually going to take this color and work it in here just a touch, because you know, round objects, the darkness, the darkest part tends to I don't know, there's like a little bit of glow because they're round. The shadows are here, but then you can kind of see glow where the rounder part comes in, if that makes sense. I'm a terrible explainer of things. And then, you know, you could have just like a little bit of touch of glow on the outside here. You could probably barely see in the video. Whoops, that's not what I want at all. And then hit that D key, making it black and going around and we'll eventually make this blend into the background better, because you can see it's kind of messed up down here and stuff, but that's okay. Okay, and then I'm just gonna keep going in and refining this, give it some like highlighted parts of the pumpkin and darker parts, and blend it in. And I might bring these, we can do this real quick before I'm going to speed up the video in a minute, but let's go in and mark some of these here, and we'll blend them in. These like you know, highlighted areas where the ridges are. Light's bouncing off just the tip of those ridges a bit. Oops, I don't like that at all. So, and then this one might be down here, and this one might be right here. Okay. So now I'm going to speed up the video a bit. Now, all I'm going to be doing is cleaning up these areas. I'm going to be on normal mostly for the part, and I'm just going to go in and clean up some of these areas so they don't look quite so sketchy. Just kind of blend them in a bit. Okay, so we have this a little more refined now, and it's kind of time for finishing touches. There's just one more thing I'm going to do, and it's sort of, what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge this layer and duplicate it and create a clipping mask. And that's just sort of a way of having like a save as layer, so to say. So anyways, now we're going to just sort of, I have this to like 25. I was messing around with a little bit, and I had my hardness up a little bit too. Turn it down to like a little bit less. And then I'm just going to sort of sketch in some like inner pumpkin areas that you would see, if that makes sense. So like the fleshy part, you know, this isn't super flat, so you'd see some of this fleshy part in here behind this area. So I'm just going to sort of sketch that in, so to say, with my brush. Just some areas that you would kind of see, and just match them up to the points. Oops. Match them up to the points a little bit here. And you'll want some on this side, over here where it's catching the light, and you can kind of make it so, you know, you see like about 1 inch or so thickness. It's like that. And then you can go in with a brush and sort of blend it in more. And you can take some lighter colors and work them over if you want. Just make it so you can kind of see that edge there to it. And then if you really want it to stand out, you can add just like a real touch of light. You can make your brush a little smaller. A real touch of light, you know, highlighting the very edge there. And then you can kind of refine that in. I'm just doing this quickly. You get the idea, and that kind of makes it stand out a little bit more. So, yeah, so we'll just kind of keep drawing these shapes in and show that inner pumpkin part. And we won't have much showing here, just a little tiny lip there. And then, you know, this one will be, we'll just say you can't see any of the pulpy innards there, so we'll do the next one over on this one, and on this one, and on this one. They get kind of thicker as you go. And I'm going to pick up, I keep picking up lighter colors when I need them, or darker colors. Just kind of go with what you need. And you can kind of see that makes it look a little bit thicker, this mouth there. And then we'll finish off by applying some here. And then I'll just kind of blend that in. I'm just kind of messily applying it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so we're going to assume that you can't really see much of the top ones. We're going to add a few, but you just as long as you do the bottom ones, it'll look a little bit nicer. And just keep working that in. Just like that. There we go. And it'll get darker, a little bit darker as it goes out. You know, obviously the flame is here, so the lightest parts will be, you know, on the edges there. And I'm just kind of sketching this in. It doesn't have to be totally a masterpiece every time you do it. Just kind of work it in, and you're welcome to refine it and make it look really nice. Okay, so we'll do the same, just a little touch here, this top one. And these side ones especially, I'm going to pick up a lighter color here, you know, and then just kind of work them in by blending a little bit. And then, you know, do the same over here where you see this edge here, just like that. And you can get kind of a, you know, make your brush smaller and add a few little highlights so you're seeing these edges here and here and here. And you just blend them in, pick up the colors around them. And we'll do this, just a little touch of one here, and then we'll start seeing them over here more. And over here. And we're just gonna kind of loosely sketch those in. I keep saying sketch. I guess I need to work on my, like, I don't know, vernacular? My vocabulary. I just need to work on being a better speaker. Okay, so then, you know, if you really wanted to go in, you could go in and just add, like I've been saying, just add some little details where the light's catching will make your painting stick out. Little, you know, the more little, I mean, you don't want like an extreme amount of weird details, but just like little smartly placed details will really make your thing look a little bit nicer, I think. Just like that, and like that. And you could go in and blend these. You probably should, but I'm not gonna. We're just gonna keep moving on. We're almost done. Okay, and then if you want to do the same up here, we'll add some, like, you know, corner edges here and here for the eyes. Just like that. And then add like a little highlight here and here. And then we just have to blend in this area here like that. You can pretend. And this one, we're going to need to add some brighter colors to kind of help that illusion. Okay. So then I'm just going to take it. It doesn't look quite like it's in enough, so I'm just going to take that darker color and kind of lead it out. Kind of. So now it looks a little bit more like, you know what I mean, gouged or whatever the word would be. And same over here. There we go. And then I'll take some darker colors and I'll just kind of smear that in just like that. There we go. It looks a little bit more. And then of course we'll take a little tiny highlight. We'll take a real bright one from down here and we'll add it to the edge there and there. And we'll just kind of make it look like that. Okay. And now we're going to go and we're going to do a few little details on the pumpkin. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it like all the way red, I think. Or we can let's pick some greens. Why not? Some blues, whatever you want. We're going to pick a couple like sort of like not apparent colors, I guess. And we're going to choose the overlay option on our brush. And we're going to cut it down to like 12. Let's see. Is it even showing up? Well, let's make it a little bit more like, yeah, 48. Okay, I guess we'll need to bump it up more. And we're just going to go in and we're just going to smear, so to say, some of these, like, you know, foreign colors, you know, in certain places, just to give it, you know, more interest. You don't want something like totally uniform. Oops. With it this high on 48, you don't want to like go over it too much because, like, you know, just keep it light, or if you're worried, you can bump it down to like 30 and then you can be a little more, you know, however you want. So we're just gonna add a couple little more colors. It's probably hard to see, but we're just adding kind of some greens here. Well, looks green with blue. Now let's pick like a nice real red, and we can add a couple of those little marks here and there, and this just gives you a little bit more interest. And this is kind of optional. This red shows up more. You're probably gonna have to mess with your opacity depending on which colors you choose. So we have the greens and we have reds. You could go through and be a little more careful with this. And let's pick a yellow, a real bright yellow, and we'll add just like a little bit of highlighted area on the very outside here of your pumpkin. Just like that and that. That looks a little bit, you know, cool. And then you can add some more like little areas where you want. Let's pick another kind of yellow green. Make our brush a little smaller, and we'll go in and add like a few little interesting details at the stump thing here. Just kind of mix them in there, and we'll put them right where the highlights might catch. So where there's a dark shadow, but there's like got to be a little light area there. So there we go. That's looking good. And Now we'll go to the color dodge option again one more time. And we'll turn the opacity way down to like 8%. And we'll turn our hardness all the way down, and we can make the brush much bigger. So, and then now I'm going to take that bright yellow. I'm going to go through and we're just going to pump up some of these highlights again, if that makes sense. So just, you know, bring out the flame colors and just like, you know, you did earlier to kind of make it look more flamey. Just kind of, you know, pick your stylus or whatever and put it back down as you're working through it and give it a real nice little extra little thing. We're going to do one more thing and then we'll be, well, we're going to do two more things, I guess. While you're here, I'm going to go to this back layer and add, is that even showing up? I guess not. Let's see if, no, it's not a problem with that. Okay, I'm going to turn my opacity up to like 23, and I'm just going to add like just kind of a glow area down here. And let's turn the brush. I've added a couple. I'm going to turn the brush back to normal and then just blend that in. Just a real quick little glow. And just, this is just, here, we'll just do this. We'll get a little orange color. We'll just pop that in. And then that's just kind of where you can kind of see just a little added detail, and you don't have to be super where it is. And then I'm going to hit the D, or just pick a black color, and I still have it on normal mode. And then I'm just gonna kind of right where the pumpkin touches, oops, let's go up here, that's where I want it, right where the pumpkin touches, we're just gonna add some black. So, and that just kind of gives it a little more atmosphere. Okay, so, and then if you really want, if you wanted your background totally black, you could work it in here, or you could just make a new layer even and like work so it goes into the shadow. That's kind of optional. So now it just looks like it's totally coming out of the shadows. Okay, we'll leave that layer there if we want. And then we're going to make one more layer. And you can call this whatever you want, like glow or something. And we're going to set it to screen, where this option screen. And we're going to take the lasso tool. And anywhere you want your highlights to really, you know, look nice, or just to glow, I should say. We're just going to kind of select that area, and you can be, you know, try to be a little bit careful. Oops. This is, it doesn't have to be exact, but I'm going to speed up this mouth highlighting part real quick. Okay, so we have it like that, and we're going to right click. We have the wand out. Oops, did not mean to enter quick mask. Okay. We're going to right click with the wand, and we're going to go and select feather, and we're going to feather it by 75. That's good enough. And we're going to pick a nice yellow color, another nice bright fiery golden yellow, and we're going to, you know, fill that layer. Okay, you just fill the layer there like that, and it's just a little too bright, so I'm going to take this opacity and turn it down just a little bit. And that's, you know, that's it before, that's it after. It just gives it a little extra glow. And we're done. What do you think? You can go in, you can refine and shade in some more areas if you want, or you can just leave it as is. But there you have your digitally painted pumpkin. And hopefully, you know, if you want last little things you can do, color adjustments or anything, that's kind of on you if you want to mess around with it. And bump up stuff. If you want to make like an animation where it flickers, you could bump up the levels like this in a couple frames and then put it out, or whatever you want to do. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you guys are having a fun October. And, you know, if you have any questions or anything, or if you want to tell me what your favorite part of Halloween or October or any of that is, just leave them in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video.